We are back on Taking Care of Business on Koerner Radio, News Talk, 1180, 1230, KGEO, 1410, KERI, now in Albuquerque, New Mexico on 1000 KKIM, and 3 times a week on the Internet.
You know, Marty, you talk awful fast.
Yes, I do.
I have that problem also.
Yes, I do.
But we need to slow down.
Okay.
Let's spend a little time slowing down.
Okay, let's slow down. Our guest by phone is Dr. J. Grimstead, who just wrote an excellent book called Rebuilding Civilization on the Bible.
You know, on this, you talk about Christians, and this is a great book for Christians, but what about Allah? Those people really have a belief in faith over there. They get down and pray 5 or 6 times a day.
That's right, and they give their lives for Allah. That is so tragic. And Allah is not God. He's a make-believe thing that Muhammad cooked up, partly out of some thoughts from the Bible. So I'm sorry about that, but Allah is not God, and those Muslims put us to shame about their commitment. Though it's awful, the horrible stuff they're doing, but they really have a commitment.
Jay, do you think that's because we're so comfortable here in America that there's a sense that we don't need God? I mean, I've heard this, and you've probably heard this in the past. I think it wasn't Dr. Schaefer, but someone like that had made this comment, that Christianity in America is 3,000 miles wide and 6 inches deep.
Yeah, I think that's true. We're comfortable. We're taught from the very time we're born, our culture helps us become soft and wimpy, actually. The men are taught to be wimpy and sweet, and not, like David and Joshua and Gideon and so on.
Well, even our own president said we're not a Christian nation.
He's almost right there, but he meant something very different and very wrong. He meant we didn't start off that way, and that we have no documents supporting that and all that. He is such a tragic person that, to be in that slot. That's a tragedy. That's God's judgment. God's judgment on sinful America.
So what's God going to do about it?
Well, I think God's going to do 2 things. First, he's going to try to get us Christians to wake up and take action and rebuild civilization on the Bible, as starting with the Great Commission, which was his plan all along, rebuilding civilization on the Bible. But also he's going to bring judgment. He's already bringing judgment, and if America the Christians don't wake up, repent, we're going to have terrible judgment in America. His wrath is going to come down on us as we deserve.
Well, I think it was Billy Graham who made that excellent comment. If we don't do anything, if God doesn't do anything after, excuse me, looking at San Francisco, then he owes Sodom and Gomorrah an apology.
Yes, that's exactly right. Yes.
Looking at your 24 topics, again, from a biblical perspective, and our next guest is somebody from the Right to Life League. Topic 22 is the sanctity of human life. Can you expand on that a little bit, the document you have concerning human life?
Yes, well, we just state what everybody else is stating, though we've got some extra tools in the appendix from the Elliott Institute, which encourage and mark the path on how any group of Christians can shut down an abortion clinic legally by getting testimonies from girls and women who have been damaged by their abortion, medically, psychologically, financially, socially.
Well, our president believes in 3rd trimester abortions, and if a child is born alive, he believes that you can let it sit there and die.
Yes, that is murder by the Bible, and he's very wrong.
Mm-hmm. Topic number 1 of the 24 topics was Bible inerrancy, and
yes.
And you refer to a meeting in Chicago. Expand on that. The Chicago Statement.
1978. I had gathered about 50-some world-respected theologians and Christian leaders. In that was Francis Schaeffer, R.C. Sproul,
Wow.
Norm Geisler, J.I. Packer, and so on, and Bill Bright, heads of organizations and so on, to defend the inerrancy of the Bible, because by that time, by 1977, when I launched the ICBI with those men, within evangelical circles, many schools, denominations, and churches and writers were putting down the Bible as being part true and part false. They were infected with Karl Barth's neo-orthodoxy and were turning liberal and trying to redefine evangelicalism as claiming that the Bible is part true and part false.
Right, and then if it ends up being a smorgasbord like that, you can almost do anything you want with it.
Exactly, yeah. Exactly. And so that's the foundational document on which all other documents, all other doctrines in the Bible are based, and which all ministry and personal living is based, the inerrancy of the Bible. If we don't have a Bible that's all true, from God, inspired, then we are really at sea. We are lost. Anchor has broken away from its hold, and we just go where the winds of culture drive our thought.
Exactly. Our guest by phone, Dr. J. Grimstead, author of Rebuilding Civilization on the Bible.
You know, Doctor, I'm probably going to have to apologize because I have to go play golf, which is more important than anything in this world.
That's all right. I understand. No, I understand that passion. It's good.
I'm really kidding. That's the idea the president seems to extend to us.
Exactly.
But my question to you really is, who is the audience that should be reading this book?
The audience we targeted were thinking Christians and all Christian leaders. It's for anybody, but the main target was people who have an influence, pastors, Christian leaders, heads of organizations, writers, theologians, so on. Christian leadership people.
Well, pastors need to start stepping up. They're not doing the job that I believe they should be doing. There's some that are, but a lot of pastors are just sitting back and being complacent, and they need to get involved more and get their people involved, or we're not going to be able to turn this country around.
Right. Barna just came out with a study, and it showed that 90% of the pastors don't feel that they are obligated to do much for culture. Bible-believing pastors, this is, yes. And I would say God will have the strongest condemnation for pastors of America and blame them more than any other single group for the deterioration of the church and the total deterioration and decadence of our culture.
I don't know if you're aware of Raul Cruz. He's Senator Ted Cruz's dad.
I don't know, but he sounds like a great guy.
He is a great guy. He's a pastor, and he goes around and he talks about what's taking place in America today and some of the things that we need to do and how the pastorate needs to step up and get involved.
Exactly.
And they're not getting involved.
Jay, if a bunch of pastors or businessmen or professionals wanted to systematically begin impacting cities, how would they do that?
Well, I'd have them buy this book and a book by my friend Ron Kirk called Thy Will Be Done, which outlines an awful lot of what we need to do. Also, I would send them to our website called reformation.net. And on that website are 17 documents created by specific experts and experienced people. And the point on those 17 points was, how does the Bible apply to this field? And each field were items like law, government, economics, education, media, science, the arts. All lawyers and judges and law professors wrote the law document. Doctors, nurses, and medical professors wrote the one on medicine. And each of these fields, there are principles in the Bible we distilled. It's on reformation.net. I'd say follow those. That's blueprints for how to change the world.
Now, you're optimistic about the future. Tell me why.
Well, I'm cautiously optimistic. I think if the church does not wake up, we are going to catch it in the neck. But I believe the church can wake up and is starting to wake up in America. And if that happens, the great God who parted the Red Sea and the River Jordan and sent hailstones on those poor Philistines those poor Canaanites and all. He's still as powerful as ever, and he's still as eager to answer our prayers. We can call down his power if he wills. And there could be major turnarounds in the next 5-10 years.
No question about it. Jay, we definitely have to have you come back.
Thank you.
We'd love to have you back. And what's the easiest way for people to get your book?
Yes, you go to the website nordskogpublishing.com. That's spelled Nord as in dog, SKOG, nordskogpublishing.com. It sells for $19.95. I think there's a few dollar charge for shipping, but that's where they get it.
And I highly recommend the book. Again, the book is Rebuilding Civilization on the Bible. Our guest, Dr. Jay Grimstead. Jay, thank you so much for the time. And again, we would love to have you back soon.
It was great. Thanks. I'd love to be back.
Take care now. We'll be back in a moment on Taking Care of Business on Koerner Radio News Talk 1180.